That's that high IQ. I don't know about you, but I don't know about you, but shit, yeah, all this shit is dumb. These motherfuckers is dumb as fuck, man. I don't even like calling people dumb, cause I don't believe in this. I don't even believe in smart and dumb. I think there's no such thing. I believe in you either have the information or you don't, or you know how or you don't. You feel me? You either lack the information or you got it, or you know how to do something or you don't know how to do something. I don't even believe in smart and dumb. Cause technically even a dumb motherfucker is gonna figure it out. You know, if you wanna, ride on those type of labels. Even a dumb motherfucker is gonna figure it out just purely purely based on survival. Purely based on survival. And when you talking of survival, when you speak on survival, fear comes into play, right? Fear, fear is a big part of survival. Like survival is about, living, right? Like, that's the staying alive, right? So off top, boom, a person might fear dying. Fear dying. That's why I say, yeah, as far as this IQ shit, this IQ topic that for I guess centuries or whatever, but for some reason it's like one of them folks' main talking points nowadays. Y'all have low IQ. Your community has low IQ. Black people got low IQ. Like, whoa. Hold up. Hold tight, Trevor or Becky or whoever the fuck you is. Watch your mouth. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. And I'm going to tell you why it don't make sense. I'm going to break it down for you. Why that shit don't make sense. Speaking of sense, boom, boom. When you talk of IQ, intelligence, right? Intelligence has a lot to do with memory. It has also a lot to do with reasoning. That one alone, I could prove my point. But those two go hand in hand, reasoning and memory. That's what. And then of course, the last one is survival. Your ability to adapt. You know what I'm saying? Like how can you piece together things to get up out or to stop a certain behavior? And really all three of them are convey that. But you get what I'm saying? Boom. Reasoning and memory, I'm going to speak on alone, shows your lack of intelligence, your lack of reasoning, and or I could just basically it's a dissonance. You know what I'm saying? That's another word that people, which I applaud the society to dig deep and start having these conversations. Boom, cognitive dissonance. It shows the warped reasoning. That explains how warped, folks that speak on others having lack of intelligence. And, when I say folks, what I'm talking about, the MAGA, the white supremacists, they often throw shots at my people. And I just think it's very disgusting. It's very dishonest. It's projecting. Like, what you mean we got low IQ? Your lack of reasoning and your, complete disregard of history, is showing your lack of intelligence. Y'all like to spit out numbers, right? You like to spit out numbers. Spit out numbers like when it comes to like crime rates and shit like that in my community, or even population. Y'all like to spit out numbers, percentages, right? Only you got to think about it when you think about the lack of reasoning, lack of memory, and the lack of being able to adapt. So boom, you go back to what I was saying as far as survival. When you think of survival, you think of fear. And I don't know about you, I'm sure you can understand this already, that when somebody fears something, they'll do anything. They'll literally do anything. So boom, back to numbers. Y'all actually had the power to put out, false information, propaganda, dogma, that like with the numbers, y'all have the power to skew numbers in your favor. At least you think it's in your favor. That's another thing as far as a person with low IQ. They're not thinking long term. They're very temporary. It's very temporary. That's a temporary mindset to I gotta I gotta make sure that I get this easy win. I gotta get this by any means necessary. See, with these things like that, like boom, a win is a win, or by any means necessary, black people don't necessarily think about it on the same wavelength as you. Kind of like, believing in Christ, or for years Christianity. Yeah, y'all created it for our downfall, but as you can see, it's been pretty much our strength. I don't believe in, I don't practice Christianity or anything like that, but we gotta admit, boom, Christianity in the black community it's not the same as Christianity in the white community or any other community. But boom, y'all have the power to skew numbers, without any kind of supporting details. That's one thing as well. Like, you see what I mean? Like, y'all harp on numbers and shit, but don't have no actual credibility behind it. Like, you leaving out a bunch of shit. You leaving out the fact that we're the most exonerated, which means we're the most arrested. Out of all groups, we're the most exonerated, found not guilty, found innocent, and which means that we're the most arrested. Like, only a dumb motherfucker would speak these bad faith arguments. I don't even go back and forth with people. Like, I don't go back and forth with nobody for that matter. But that's what you gonna run into 9 times out of 10. You gonna run into shit like that where, they gonna spew a bunch of numbers, they gonna give you the word salads. Hold on. Sorry about that, but yeah, they gonna give you the bunch of numbers, the word salads, the what about isms, what about Chicago, what about, you know what I mean, and don't have no kind of legs behind their stance, behind their argument, behind their debate. And it's supposed to stop you right there. It's supposed to halt, put you, stop you in your tracks. Because most people won't have the rebuttal ready, won't have you know what I'm saying? Pretty much like how I always describe it as is to debate a bad faith argument, to get in a bad faith, argument or debate, you just wasting time. You pretty much are labeling yourself, stooping down to their level. Like, it's basically gonna be two dummies talking to each other. Cause that's what they harp on. They harp on that it's not necessarily spitting facts or truth. It's really about shall I say, it's really about the applause. You know what I'm saying? It's really about the entertainment, the arena of it's just mediocrity, man. It's it's pure degenerate shit, pure low IQ shit. If we want to use their terms that they created, IQ and all this shit. Like I don't know if you know, IQ was created to. It was back in the early 1900s. It was created, by them. It was created by them to basically filter out different ones, categorize different ones. Like, say you wasn't able to grasp a concept fast as somebody else. It was created to filter you out. Like, kind of think cattle. You know what I mean? I don't like to make anything more complex than it is. Like, and that's one thing as far as their whole bullshit, high IQ, or they got high like, that's a myth. That's a myth, because when you break shit down, it's very elementary. Like, it'll come down to fear, survival, and that derives off of fear. Now, with that said, like I said, it's no such thing as a smart or a dumb person in that scenario. When you break that down to that means that they'll do anything. Now, when you say do anything, that means morals go out the window. Morals go out the fucking window. You see what I mean? There's no such thing. There's no such thing as honor. There's no such thing as, you know what I'm saying, accountability. There's no such thing as these things. Truth. Like, it runs off, it's fueled by lies. It's fueled by mediocrity. It's fueled by, fragility. And that, and here's the constant of that, is that in order for it, such a system as white supremacy to continue to thrive, which, as you can see, is crumbling, but in order for it to keep running, keep operating, they got to keep up with the lies. They got to keep up with it. That alone lets you know that you're dealing with low vibration, low intelligent people. That alone, that you have to, pull rabbits out the hat. They got to make different policies, create, you know what I'm saying? I always say that the ones that we dealing with right now ain't the same as their ancestors. They went harder back in the day. You know what I'm saying? They went harder back in the day. And I only say went harder, meaning like they was with the shit. These ones right here, they just kicked up, pulled up a chair at the table of white supremacy, and a lot of them can't really, be how they per se feel, mainly because they pussy, and then on top of it, it's like there's a lot of scrutiny that'll come behind it, come with it now. You know what I'm saying? Which, back then it was law. You know what I'm saying? Back then it was just nature. They had everything in place to where, a motherfucker could walk down the street and just call you whatever, or do whatever to you, and they also the police and shit. It's still happening to this day, but it's just not. They got to do it in different codes, you see. That's the biggest thing about white supremacy, is that it constantly has to re-evolve. It constantly has to change. Now, what does that tell you? That's a trial and error type thing, right? I don't know about you. When you think of trial and error, that's definitely not high intelligence. That doesn't come from a high intelligence viewpoint or stance. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. Because a person that is you know, shows high intelligence, man, you would you would strategize. You would strategize. First off, look, let me get this out the way. You wouldn't even be on the type of wavelength of I gotta dominate others, I gotta destroy others just for me to benefit. You wouldn't even be on that type of time if you have intelligence. See what I'm saying? That's how you know it's like very weak. It's very pussy. It's like, what? you, you know what I mean? These motherfuckers actually uphold war. That's their culture. They actually like put that on a pedestal. Like, I'm a master of war. Like, what? The fuck? Who am I talking to? You know what I'm saying? What are you saying? Do you hear what you saying? So, you know, like that, back to what I was saying as far as you won't even be on that type of wavelength. Like you would choose, you would think a person with intelligence would choose, hey man, let's choose growth and let's choose progress. You know what I'm saying? Let's choose a natural order of, you know, equality. Everybody get to eat. Everybody get to live freely. Everybody, you know. But that alone, that's not even that's not even a thought in none of these motherfuckers' heads, man. That doesn't even come across they. You know what I mean? Not one bit. They look at it like it's nature. It's nature. It's a natural order for one group to want to dominate the others, one group to want to kill the others and make sure that they can run some capitalist system, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's their nature. That's the nature. Wild, right? Wild. How is that high IQ? How? Somebody tell me how. How the fuck is that high IQ that you wanna, you have to put it like this, you have to resort to that type of method to live? Like, when you think of it like that, you gotta have an enemy just to even breathe. You gotta have an enemy just to even eat. Yeah, the cognitive dissonance in this shit is crazy. It's crazy. The same motherfuckers that are out here saying, oh, you know, this one and that one have low IQ and they got high IQ and all this bullshit. How is it high IQ when you had to force people, enslave my people, you know, force them into free labor, you know, along with a lot of disgusting acts that came with it, force them into free labor, use their knowledge, use their ingenuity to build this country. So I'm sure one of you, I'm sure one of you motherfuckers will probably say that that's high IQ because we were able to capture you and, you know, shit like that. Once again, like, your heroes is killers, your heroes is rapists and pedophiles, and you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't surprise me that that would be your response. It doesn't surprise me. For years we were forced to go to school and learn about different characters that y'all, you know, put up on a pedestal. George Washington's, yeah, you know what I'm saying, yeah. Ben Franklin's, you know what I mean? All these different characters, Columbus, and y'all strategically very crafty And even with that, see what I mean? I don't give you the credit of being intelligent by being crafty. It's definitely not that. It's coming from deceit. It's coming from lies. And you don't have that has zero to do with, reasoning, memory, and being able to adapt. If anything, it shows that you can't do these things, so you resort to easy, you know what I'm saying? Little easy triumphs, like, because this is what you call it. A win is a win, right? A win is a win. We're in the culture of a win is a win. If you ask me, when I hear that, it's like I celebrate small wins. Yes, I celebrate my small victories, most definitely. But do I live off of a win creed? Hell no. I live off of improvement, improving. I celebrate improvement. Wins is not even in my vocabulary, unless we fucking playing Madden or you play me 1-on-1 or something. But in this life shit, nah, I don't even put win in my when it comes to this life shit. That lets me know right there you low. You know what I mean? That right there let me know that you what type of time you on. And yeah. Anyway, like, yeah, how the hell can you call yourself high IQ when you had to use motherfuckers to build a country, you know what I mean? You have to actually, it sounds cavemanish. Exactly what the fuck you was, what you are, you know what I mean? It sounds very cave. I gotta bop you over the head with a club, Then you start noticing that, oh, he's over there washing his ass. Oh, he's over there. He actually put his food on a pallet instead of just kneeling down and eating it like a fucking dog in the street. Like, you learned all these things from us. Like, I don't know if you know this, a lot of these people that be spitting this low IQ bullshit or IQ bullshit, period, don't even be knowing none of this shit. Or, like how I always say, they just like to play dumb. That alone lets you know that you have low intelligence. Why are you using these tactics? Why are you approaching shit like this? Why is your mind so warped to approach things in this manner? Like, why do you gotta come at things with such evil in your heart? I know, but you should ask yourself that. You should ask yourself that. Ask your people that. Ask these questions amongst, you know what I mean, your people. Bob, all them motherfuckers, Becky, ask them motherfuckers at the table, like, why do we gotta be coming at things this way? I'm sure y'all ain't gonna come to a conclusion because, you see, like, y'all just be projecting. It ain't no fucking high IQ over there. Me personally, there's no such thing as smart or dumb. It's either you do or you don't. It's either you lack information or you have it. You uphold, a totally degenerate culture. You uphold a totally degenerate culture. You have the nerve to call yourself Christian, which y'all dubbed Christ-like. I guess you can attach what? Civilized. You call yourself civilized, right? But you're also the masters of violence. Oops, you know, that part. Like, you're the master of violence. You're the master of lies, exploitation, genocide. You're the masters of these things. Do you get high intelligence from that? I'm asking. When you hear those terms that I just spoke, does it equal high intelligence to you? You had the nerve to speak on, use terms like liberty, Lady Liberty, right? Statue of Liberty here in the U.S., right? While look, check this newsflash. While holding people in bondage, like, how do you convince yourself? How do you go through life convincing yourself that you constantly have to do it every day? You constantly have to lie to yourself every day. Like I said, that's the only way white supremacy continues. You know, it's the only way it has to. Let me get my words right. That's the only way it's able to continue, by your lies, your constant, perpetual lies, perpetual hate. You have to. Otherwise, you're gonna drown. Otherwise, you're gonna drown. You're gonna die off. I don't know if you see. I don't know if you see what's happening. It's happening anyway. Cause that's one thing, like I keep saying, the one thing about that whole shit that y'all done created here on this earth, where you the lender and I'm the borrower. I mean, first off, you know, the Most High already said that you was going, you know, the wicked was going to inherit the earth. The wicked was going to be taken care of, you know what I mean? Run this earth. Y'all probably don't even know that. Y'all probably just, once again, this is one of y'all arguments. Y'all probably just think we stupid. Y'all just think we stupid. And it's like, yeah, if we just, you know, said fuck it and just went all ham on everything, you know, just straight, everything just carnage, everything barbaric, like you know what I mean? If we just stoop down to your level, notice I said stoop down. If we just stoop down to your level and we just got out in the streets and just started, you know what I mean, being degenerate and murder, kill like you, what we gonna have, man? What we gonna have, man? I don't know about you. I don't want to forfeit this life experience on wasting time fucking with you. None of my people do. Never have. That's why this is like totally, it's a bad faith argument. You calling somebody low IQ. It's like you waste majority of your time, majority of your day is thinking about me and mine. That's like I said, the only way for you to progress is for you to have an enemy. You got to create some kind of issue. You got to create some kind of friction. You have to. And it ain't even about even you necessarily creating it. This is just how you is. This is just your nature. This is just purely your nature. How you high intelligent? How you intelligent? You can't formulate processes. You know, solve problems without having a pushback. I don't know about you, but listen. Follow me on this. People that don't have that type of spirit in their heart, it's actually harder. It's actually harder to go up against, you know, some Cause I didn't even know all this shit. I didn't even know all this shit when I was younger. That it was a whole system. I just thought, oh, okay, they ain't hiring. Okay, you know, you hear the brothers, you hear your uncles, your people saying the white man and shit like that. But it go in one ear and out the other. You really don't comprehend it until you actually go through it. But like to be going up against a whole oppressive system, motherfuckers is like literally denigrating, literally, you know what I'm saying? And like, and it's built to do that. Like, that's actually harder, man. You took a shortcut to this life shit. And you're looking at that as intelligence. I don't buy it. No one buys it, man. Like, the cat has been out the bag, man. You know this, right? No one buys this shit. No one we just don't want to up arms and get out in the street and just start knocking noodles out. That's the only reason why, you know what I mean? Like, we believe in a higher purpose on this whole journey that we on. Don't get me wrong, like it's very exhausting dealing with your degenerate ass people. This low vibration shit. It's very exhausting. It's very, you will wanna. Some days you get up and you like, man, fuck them. You know what I mean? It's always fuck them, but you get what I mean. Like some days it's like more consuming than others. Cause most days, man, we ain't even worrying about you. That's on everything. Most days we ain't even giving a fuck about you, not even worrying about you. We say our highs and byes, our good mornings, our hellos and shit. You know what I mean? Once again, you the lender and we the borrowers. So 9 times out of 10, we work for you. That's another point of this whole shit. It's like you in position and you choosing to be just ugly, dirty. Like you don't have a righteous bone in your body to do anything just, you know what I mean? Straight honorable. Just straight up and down, north and south. Like it's not even in your whole get down. That ain't how you even that's not even how you're wired. And for the ones, you know what I mean, I don't want nobody to get this twisted. For the ones that do see the issue and choose, like I always say, they want to be on the right side of history. Or maybe this is your nature. Because, every once in a while, you stray away and you got people that actually have a heart, see what's going on, and they go against they mothers, they fathers, you know what I mean? They whole bloodline. Like, I don't believe in that. I'm not gonna stop at just you choosing or having a good heart towards the matter, or what's going on, your racisms, your injustices and all this shit that's under the umbrella of this white supremacist system. You can't stop there. You actually gotta sound off. You actually gotta, and I ain't saying you gotta be all over social media or nothing like that. Have a conversation at your dinner table. Have a conversation at your next, Thanksgiving dinner or some shit. Have a conversation. Yeah, it's gonna ruffle feathers. Yeah, it's gonna make a lot of people turn red, right? They gonna turn red, like, what is this you speaking of? They immediately probably, if you a woman, they probably gonna think you know what I mean? You fuck with niggas. You a white man, they gonna, I don't know. You already know how it's gonna go. That shows low intelligence right there, not being able to have a conversation about something that's not so comfortable. That's low intelligence, and none of you motherfuckers are able to do that. It's proving this. It's proving this. All these is facts, man. All these is facts. Like, have that uncomfortable conversation then. You know? Have that uncomfortable conversation. One point I want to highlight that just straight exuberates low IQ, low intelligence, no intelligence is by you creating a system to oppress my people and other groups, you know, but to oppress foundational Black Americans, by you creating a system to oppress us, hold us back, you know, hold us back. Have you ever, and I'm sure you thought of this, but this doesn't mean you have intelligence. This just means that it was in your playbook of fear. So by you doing this, you're actually restricting society as a whole from our contributions, you know, through all the oppression, through all the, you know what I mean, injustices and shit that in the systems that y'all created. You're holding back economic contributions, cultural contributions, you know, just groundbreaking new. We could have been here, right here. Like where we at right here at 2025, we'd have been here probably, you know what I mean, 100 years earlier. I'll say that. How stupid is that? That you too focused on hating. You too focused on hating that you rather say, fuck progress. You rather say, fuck progress, fuck moving forward. You know? Man, yeah, that's wild to me. That's wild. Like we could have been propelled our society much faster without all this goofy shit, without all this hate, you know, insecurity, you know what I mean, without all this. But of course, you know, your argument would be, well, why didn't y'all fight us? Why didn't y'all dominate? We dominated. And it's like, yo, you did this shit in the middle of the night, man. Like motherfuckers did our natural order, right? We welcomed you. You sick, you know what I mean? You crawl up like a dog, you know, ain't washed. You don't even know what soap is at this time. Motherfuckers welcomed you with open arms, fed you, clothed you, you know, kept you warm or whatever. And then you bop niggas in the head in the middle of the night. We ain't even on that white wavelength. That's degenerate shit. That's dumbass shit. Like, how you gonna kill the motherfuckers that is showing you how to do processes? Like, they teaching you shit. They got food you ain't never eat. You ain't never prepare this way. They got clothes you ain't never prepared this way. Like, it's crazy. That's crazy as fuck. How is that high IQ? No, that's not high IQ. You never gonna convince me that violence is high intelligence. You never gonna fucking convince me of that. I immediately picture a caveman with a club in his hand. And here we is in 2025, that nigga get clapped. I still picture you as a caveman with a club in your hand. I don't give a fuck how many bullets or guns you got. You still look like a caveman with a club in your hand. And that's disgusting, right? Is that in order to survive, we got to be in a constant fear of each other. But newsflash, you know, you got folks like me and a lot of my people, we don't even believe in that fear shit. That ain't in our vocab either. We fear God. I fear God. I fear my Heavenly Father. Like basically, you can murk me, I can murk you. Guess where I'm going? Who got me? My maker, my creator. But the biggest part about the me abiding and obeying my creator is he told me to be still, show some restraint, show some discernment. Be about something as opposed to just floating in the wind like how you motherfuckers is. Y'all just, we term things like get it how you live, but we don't believe, we don't use it the way you use it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean the same. Just it goes back to like how I said what y'all call Christianity. That's just sloganisms to y'all. That's like a fucking Boy Scout patch on your shirt to y'all. When you walk in the room, you smile. That's a smile to y'all. You know what I mean? That's all it is. He's a good person. It's kind of like when y'all use words like that, slogans. That's a good man, a good person. And it's like, what? You got to constantly lie to yourself every day. How exhausting that has to be. That has to be very exhausting. You can't even look in the mirror. That's horrible. But that's high IQ. That's high IQ. Like I said, high IQ, their idea of white supremacy, it definitely ain't high IQ because listen to this. It's a short-term way of thinking. It's a short-term way of thinking. Here it is right now. Here we are in 2025 under the regime of Trump, and he any one of these people that they put in office, and any of this system that they put in office, they constantly have to pick up where they left off from the beginning of all this shit. The whole politics. The whole politics game, the whole scheme that they got going on. Like, not once did they think when they create these policies, right? These laws, these things in the Constitution and shit like that. Not once did they think of such a time like this. They didn't think it was going to catch up and damage them. I always tell white people, you're collateral damage. You're a casualty. As you can see, a lot of the Trump supporters, the MAGA people, are realizing that. They're like, oh man, I'm just a casualty. Like, yeah, you believing in some shit that don't believe in you. You believe rooting for some shit that fed you lies, but you should be used to that. You're a liar too. You should be used to that. You should have seen it coming from a mile away. Contradictory, contradicting yourself is normalized in your culture, in your homes, right? Lying is normal. That's the culture. That's high IQ, right? That's high IQ. Crazy. Instead of choosing cooperation, instead of choosing growth, progress, you choose domination and violence. Then you got all these little subsystems underneath the umbrella of white supremacy, these little subsystems, redlining, over policing, all kind of shit. School to prison pipeline, all kind of shit, like crazy. And you still fall victim to your own shit. You still catch strays. You see what I'm saying? That's why I always tell people, like, hey man, you a casualty. It wasn't even designed to hit you. That bullet didn't even have your fucking name on it. All this shit was created to hold my people down. You out here homeless or what have you, on drugs, strung out on meth or whatever the fuck, and you getting, you know what I mean? You getting treated this way and that way. Yeah, you a casualty. IQ was only created just like your credit score systems, any of this shit, man. Any of this shit. Redlining system, your banking. It was only created to filter. Think cattle, once again. Think of cattle. You know, a sheep herder, a herder. Like, it's to filter those people over there so I can treat them this way. So I can treat them better than them people. Treat them less of a human than them people. That's all it was created for. You can't make it more complex than what it is. It's nowhere near complex. It's elementary. If you just sit back and, you know, I don't advise you to, you know, it's not hard to think like this. All I'm saying is, I was about to say, sit back and try to think like an evil villain, like a fucking, what is it? Go Gadget. What is it? The dude that used to sit there and rub the cat all day. Like, he's sitting there, you never seen his face on Inspector Gadget. Like, he's just trying to figure out how to conquer, how, you know what I mean? Just dumb shit. Instead of just actually doing the work. That's where that whole cognitive dissonance comes into play. They gotta constantly manipulate and reframe shit. You know, they gotta constantly reframe things and program things just so it justifies their wrongdoing, their dumb shit that they're doing. Like, as you can see, we're living in a time right now where majority of the generations don't even know their history, but at the same time they're regurgitating the same bullshit that their elders were saying. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or, you know, we worked hard. I'm a hard worker. It's just slogans, just empty. Don't even believe nothing they saying. Like, when the last time you ran into a lazy black person? You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people don't even live around black people. That's the crazy thing. All these other groups too, these white adjacent, a lot of them don't even live around black people. Don't even have no kind of connection to none of that shit. But just be regurgitating bullshit over and over. That shows low intelligence right there. It's just like how they vote. They vote without even knowing policies. They vote without even having any kind of, you know, credibility behind their shit. They just, you know, go into shit blind, go into no research, no, you know what I mean? A lot of them don't know how to spell, don't know how to read. It's a lot of shit going on here in this country, man, in this world, period. But it just bothers me when I hear, you know, white people and white adjacent people try to speak on black Americans, try to say that we have low IQ, and it's like one that you speaking to right now is, I've excelled in every class, every level, in your, you know, so-called education system, and it wasn't even no effort. It wasn't even no. I can honestly tell you, it wasn't no effort. I was always top of the class. I can prove it. Anybody I know, anybody that knows me would be able to let you know this shit. And then it came to a point. I ain't even gonna lie. It came to a point that I realized that And I ain't even spitting no Charlie Kirk bullshit. I don't agree with him on this, but I do get where he was saying when he said college is a scam. See, every once in a while, a squirrel, you know what I mean? What a broken clock is correct. But I'm not no, CK supporter or nothing like that. But when he said that, I was like, yeah, I've been saying that for a long time. I say that about y'all whole system because, your history, which I can't cash in and make money off of. But even so, you spoke a bunch of lies, while we're in the classroom. And, and then actual trades, actual tools to get out here and actually be productive, get out here and hit the ground running, y'all leave out. And then for the actual ones, the trade schools, those got shut down. A lot of my people told me that, they got shut down before this generation got to, take advantage of those opportunities. And now y'all make that's even a part of your capitalist system. Like that's just stupid. Speaking of that, here's your high IQ bullshit once again. Here's that high IQ bullshit that you speak of that you have. You motherfuckers were so dumb, so hateful. You people were so hateful that school was free. College, going to get a degree, was free at one point. And you noticed that black people, you were so hateful. You noticed that black people were going to school in high numbers, becoming doctors, engineers, different things. They had the same access to the information as you. This is post-slavery. Post-slavery, we had to, yeah, we might still have to deal with y'all bullshit, but kids were able to go to school, go to college, and you know what I mean. Bring these trades back to their communities and be something. Thus how you get your Black Wall Streets and you know what I mean, or thriving black communities. Even before going to your colleges, a lot of us were the professors. So yeah, even before, we're the innovators, we're the inventors. So anyway, you motherfuckers were so hateful that y'all made it that you now y'all implemented tuition for colleges just to filter out. It's kind of like what goes on still to this day. You know what I'm saying? With your redlining, with your certain codes that will make sure that they get a certain demographic walking through them doors, because they know that it's only a certain type of black person or what have you that'll be able to come through these doors at this price. And y'all did that with college, man, with education. Like, that's crazy. It goes back to the point I was saying. Like, imagine how far we would be as a society. We'd have progressed way further if you didn't hold motherfuckers back. If y'all wasn't on this degenerate ass hate and shit. But anyway, back to the tuition shit. Y'all implemented tuition and y'all constantly raised it. You even barred your own self out. How stupid is that? A lot of your motherfucking people can't afford to go to college. Just like with the housing market, a lot of your people can't even afford a home. That's how smart, see what I mean? That's that high IQ of white supremacy right there. Stupid as fuck. That hate gonna kill you, man. That hate is costing you, man. Hate is expensive, ain't it? It's killing you and it's fucking expensive. That's crazy. Contradictory beliefs. That's what that is. Crazy. It's causing you to be morally bankrupt. You're stunting your whole growth. Just it doesn't even make sense. Make zero sense. Like I said, IQ it was designed with reasoning, memory, being able to comprehend. You know what I mean? Being able to adapt. And as far as I'm concerned, yeah, y'all show lack of that in everything. Education, military, most definitely. Like war, come on now. You tell it, even though the Most High did say you are a cunning hunter. Esau is a cunning hunter. I mean, that's a dog, right? Yeah, that's a dog. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Like I said, uh, that's that high IQ. That's that high IQ. It doesn't it doesn't get any dumber than that. And I don't even like calling it. There's no such thing as smart or dumb. You either do or you don't, or you know or you don't. Don't know. As far as I'm concerned, hey, that hate is that hate done consumed your whole life experience. Ruined your whole life experience. I don't care how many boats and cars and vacations and shit you go on. You ain't happy. you ain't ha- you ain't happy, man. You ain't choosing life. You ain't living this life thing right. I'm gonna speak on that in a whole nother live. Anyway, stay blessed. Stay safe to my people and stay dangerous. Peace, peace.